just thinking about how we can start a campaign to help students enter the profession in this epoch. Because often you would try to get some work experience, wouldn't you? You try to sit in on things. So how do you see that? What have you thought about that?
I was actually hoping this summer I could get my foot in the door, because I was back at home from basically like March to like last week. And I was really hopeful that like even with COVID, like even if it was like an online basis, like I could get my foot in that door, but it just didn't happen. Like I sent out at least 25, 30 like really qualified job applications, and it just didn't work out, or they like cut the funding to whatever it was happening, or they just like weren't doing anything. And it was just like really discouraging, because I didn't really do anything this summer. Like not only was it just like massive unemployment just all around, like for me to even like do anything that was like remotely legal, like even if it was just like a legal secretary, it just didn't work out.
No.
So I just felt like my summer basically was like a waste. And I don't really know like what I'm gonna do next summer, because if this continues on, I don't really know how I'm gonna get that foot in the door.
I'm a little luckier in the sense that I was in contact on Twitter with a barrister. Like he tweeted out a while ago, maybe a year ago, I'll give a mini pupillage to any student who messages me. So he organised a mini pupillage, a week-long one. He comes from quite a good set in London with me for a week in June. It was meant to happen on the 1st of June, and then it didn't. And then I told him, what are we going to do about this? And he said, you know what, message me whenever you want when this is all over, and I'll take you for a week. So I'm lucky that he's that flexible.
Do you know what that's made me think?
What?
Why shouldn't a student sit in on some of my virtual meetings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you were sitting in on a meeting that I'd got consent for, but we couldn't hear you and we couldn't see you, but you could see and hear everything, which is what happens when you've got your everything off, you wouldn't impact on the meeting, I don't think at all. So I'm committed to doing that now. So thank you for that. And so we've got to just think about how we can get the others in my profession to think about it. We could do it. We could start a campaign, couldn't we? Work experience online.
I think that would be a really great idea, even if it was like one student a week, just sat in like maybe once or twice a week, like them just like sitting and just seeing what happens and just like hearing what happens would be really beneficial, rather than just like sitting, like what I did at home. I just basically sat at home and I did nothing. Yeah.
Monica, like you say, you don't know how to fix it. Well, nobody does. But
I'm going to try and fix it. I'm going to fix it because I'm going to do what I can. I was in a meeting yesterday, and it was a recruitment to a national committee, and I said, well, what are we doing? What are our criteria? How are we going to make sure we have equal opportunities, and how are we going to make sure we have diversity? Let's not keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And they all look at me like I'm a nutter.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, you won't know of this woman, but Angela Mason, she ran an organisation called Stonewall back before we had equality of marriage or anything like that. And I was at university, and I was in my mid to late 20s at that point. And I said, well, what would you do if you were me? And she said, I would be out wherever you are. Just come out. She said, because it's time everyone got over it, first of all, she said. And just be out, be brave. And I'm glad that she said that to me, because throughout my legal career, I have been out. And it's not always been easy, but I tell you what, I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I speak out occasionally. I tend not to very much because it doesn't really come up. But I suppose if I was going to give you that gift, it would be do what you're doing this morning with us. Speak up. Makes everyone feel uncomfortable, never mind, they get over it. And I do it all the time, and it costs me, and it's costing you. All these microaggressions that you face, that you appreciate, that happen to you every day, hand up.